Anyway, all right. Thanks thanks to the board again for giving the opportunity to provide an update on the Baron Wentz project in the Article 10. Got a number of things, so I'm going to use that for the clip notes here to give you an update on our process and progress. I think first and foremost, as you all know clearly, intervenor funding was awarded to the towns, to the communities, and to other intervenors, which is to be used towards what you've already begun, is the analysis of the Article 10, providing things like the list of issues that came in recently and other items. So we appreciate the town's engagement, involvement, and review of the materials. I was going to say next, just a general view on the Article 10 continues to move forward. As you know, in August 29th is when it was deemed complete. Our application, which started the 12-month clock for the review towards the certificate, projected in August of 2019. The team's been very busy on information requests, as I just mentioned. So we've seen the towns get involved, we've seen the agencies get involved and ask a number of questions for clarification and for more information and data on the project itself. So for us, this is an exciting time, but of course very busy. In addition to that, we had a milestone meeting some of you attended last month, which was the public hearing that was driven and overseen by the Public Service Commission, or Department of Public Service, for the Article 10. So it was the opportunity for persons to come in and provide comment on their views in regards to the project. That was transcript was derived from that. If you check on the Department of Public Service website, which you can get to that from our website, from the Baron Wentz Energy site, you can actually read the transcript and see what was stated. We thought a very good meeting, also good interaction with the other agencies. A few other things, so that was a major milestone for us. Turbine technology, we stated before, we'll state again, that we have determined two types of turbines that we will use in the Baron Wentz project. Now, this is taking quite a bit of time. It's just a simple function, as I mentioned before, of running the analyses, looking at different models, working to find a technology that fits within the regulations and requirements of the town law, not just within Fremont, but within the other towns as well. And also what we can expect from the outcome of the Article 10 process. So there's two turbines that we'll use. One of them is called a Gamesa. It's a G114, right? That's a 2.6 megawatt generator. And the other is a Nordex. It's called an N117, which is a 3.6 megawatt generator. Those are the two turbines. So what we do now, we know the two different models. I think we've discussed these in the last meeting 2 months ago. So now we go through the iterative process to determine which turbine will go in which hole, basically. And those holes is determined through the Article 10. We originally had 76 proposed, and now we're at 69 turbines, for roughly around 242 megawatts. Of the 69, we project that 34 of them will be in the town of Fremont. So, you know, I think the second town, in terms of number of turbines in the community, would be Cohocton. Dansville being the least with 3. You mentioned that, Jamie mentioned that before. So that's the technology. As far as certifications, I've been asked that a number of times. We do have the type certifications. I have copies I can email. Those are being posted up as part of the information request. The town of Fremont has signed a protective order, which allows you to see some materials which may be deemed confidential. So you all have access to that for sure. And those type certificates will be posted on the DML will be posted for your viewing tomorrow. So certainly out there. Basically what that is, it states that the turbines are certified through a third-party agency. These are like UL, one of the most common, DNVGL, that they're certified to as an like properly engineered turbine. Some of them list the types of equipment, like the inner components as well. and alternatives, but that they've been tested and they will function properly within an environment such as this on a 60 hertz electrical system. Okay. What else? The other things, we've got the, in terms of with the turbine, we also have just received on Friday, on the 9th, was a draft road use agreement, a draft road report that was issued to us by Nordex. And I'd be happy to sit down with any members of the board and share that with you. We're basically looking at ports. We want to bring the turbines into a port, perhaps Buffalo, perhaps Oswego, and others we're looking at now. And then just to find the routes from those ports to the project site, to go over the process of doing, which you can expect. So, not the first turbines to be routed in this direction, for sure, but every turbine's unique, and we want to be sure that we have the least amount of interruption, impact, and in the route from the port to the location. The other part of that, the last page, it does indicate the roads locally. I've been asked quite a bit about seasonal road usage, so I can actually show that. Happy to match that with the map, and we can talk through any concerns you may have. Okay. So that's
Can you email that to us?
Yes, I can. Yeah, I may do it through Young Summer,
Okay.
but absolutely, yeah, definitely, happy to do that. And again, I'll state it's a draft, and yeah, no problem. What else? Road use agreement then. You mentioned that some correspondence that one of the final portions of that was to list or indicate which roads will be utilized in order to essentially close out that document. So that's an outstanding item. And then the other item, as Jamie mentioned, would be the host community agreement. And Emily had shared a value that was discussed. If you calculate 34 turbines at a certain megawatt, you're looking at around $300,000 in just straight revenue to the town. That's not pilot related, and as was mentioned, it does not impact. There's not a town tax impact in regards to the pilot. This is just straight revenue, as we discussed before. So, what are we talking about? Potentially over $500,000 annually for the town. Failed to mention the intervenor funding for the town of Fremont totaled $168,000. So that's in the coffers for your use. A few last things. What I've been asked about, in addition to turbines in the Article 10 update, maps and visual simulations. Also, we'll get to that in one moment. I'll take a quick step back and say one thing that has been of note and was certainly is the first item on the issue list from the town of Fremont was our eagle friends that have nested right on Mud Lake. Yeah, so if you haven't, I'm sure everybody's fully aware. I was there last week, took a look. Yeah, so I just would state, if you read the Article 10 and you read the bird study portions, we're aware that there are eagles in the project area. We've done studies, we've determined that. We received nest information from the Department of Environmental Conservation. That's the group who provides that to us. Most recently, we did spot checking in 2017, so not that long ago, just prior to submittal of our application. So with this eagle nest in the area, what we do is we're coordinating with the DEC. We coordinate with U.S. Fish and Wildlife. And we determine a suitable protocol so as to reduce any potential impact to eagles. Clear enough. So that's in process now. Okay. And the town of Fremont will certainly be apprised as that moves forward in the process.
There's not just one nest. There's a nest by the reservoir too.
Right.
Okay.
And
Yep.
there's a bird there's an eagle that flies at my house. I see it
Oh, we
at
see
least
them all
once
the
a week.
time. And I just photographed the 5 of the 2 juveniles right on 21 in Haskellville Road.
Sure. And I
That's
saw
right.
saw an adult myself, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So, yeah.
Take
So-
pictures of them because they'll be gone in a couple of years.
Yeah.
All right. So, next thing, I just wanted to go ahead and hit on that issue. Last couple things. You've asked for additional visual simulations. We had another round, totally, absolutely, your issue list we're working through to address all those items, absolutely. Visual simulations, we brought an updated map. It is a contour map similar to the one that was at the public hearing. I also committed to give you the full color aerial image imagery, we've done aerial, we're in the process of doing aerial imagery and also 2-foot contour data in the project area. So we'll get you an updated map indicating the current 69 turbines along with the aerial view. It's kind of a jump route. There you go. So here's a contour map, so you can take a look. And also at the bottom it indicates, just so you don't have to count them, how many turbines going in each community. So I thought to replace the one that's out in the hallway, it's the older, yeah, absolutely. So those are the, that's the map, the overall. Back on the visuals, we will update those. Yeah, we understand. I've looked at it and I've seen how, I agree. There you go. I agree. And yeah, I do. And I think that those angles aren't conducive. Yeah, and at the angles, it's pointed to the north, one of them, the visual sound. So we're in the process of getting those retaken, the photographs, and also resimulated. I've also offered, if you like, I can provide the town with a Google Earth KMZ, which would actually plot the turbines, for you. It's just easier so you can see it. I think that'd be beneficial. There's no, you can normally take a little person and drag them over and get the 3D view. It's not available for this area, unfortunately. But at least from an aerial or a close-up view, you'll be able to, I think they have a better view of what's going on. Okay, the visual simulations. We have those. Yeah.
Do these maps tell what size turbine you're gonna use where?
Yeah, they're 499, roughly 499 feet. Yeah, but they don't specify if
The
it's,
megawatts is what I'm talking.
they don't, no, those don't.
Will there be a map?
They will be, yeah, absolutely will be. Yeah, so the coordinates, the coordinates, you can find them on the Article 10 as well. But then we'll work as we do that process to figure out exactly whether it's Gamates or Nordex goes where, then that information will be provided. Sure.
What were the noise outputs of the GAMSA?
The Gamesa is 106.6 dB.
Well, that's gone up.
Yeah, and there's actually, there's a noise reduction mode, these NROs. Talk about serrated trailing edges, dino tails they're called, or other methods in order to reduce the sound,
Will this
to
one be
minimize it.
equipped with that?
Pardon me.
Will this be equipped with that?
So what do we expect with the Gamesas? So I'll take a step back. With the Gamesas could be noise reduction, right? So you can actually, reduce the output or change. It's not the nameplate, right, which a lot of these things are based off of. It's reducing the output in order to minimize the
Yeah,
sound.
through your SCADA system.
Exactly, yeah. So you can do that. But also, in the Nordexes they're less than that. I think they're 105.3, roughly 105.2. I'll give you the exact number, and then also the impact. Those with the serrated trailing edges.
So just those have the serrated trailing edge?
Right now, yes.
The Mesas do not?
They do not.
Okay.
Yeah. Nordexes do. The majority of turbines being Nordex.
So Fremont will get all Nordex then?
It remains to be seen. So we're certainly, I would say this, we're sympathetic to the desire to have, like we said before, a project that where we can bring people back into this community and that they'll be welcomed, or they will be welcomed as well. That we want a turbine with the lowest noise technology to be positioned in Fremont. We're very sensitive to that. We've also agreed to work together with you to keep you apprised of where we are in the siting. Okay. I can't commit to all Nordexes in Fremont today. What I can commit to, we'll do the iterative process. When we get through to a point, a final point, we'll bring that information to you for review.
So what do you plan to do about it all then?
I'm sorry.
The serrated blades?
With the Nordexes,
If we do not put serrated trailing edge blades,
then
you'll
we
be in
do
violation of
noise
our law.
reduction mode, right?
You'll be in violation of our law.
Well, it'd have to be, you've got to meet the dB requirements at the property lines, at the receptors, right?
And serrated trailing edge blades,
Or some other noise minimization technology.
and our O is not part of
So
that.
we talked about that before.
Um,
And I recall it was that you were open to discussion on this. So I don't want to go down that rabbit hole tonight, if that's okay. What I would say, Emily, is that we wait and let us do that process and see where we put the turbines. It may very well be that all Nordexes end up, and it is quite a machine, end up in the town of Fremont. Okay?
Oh, can we talk about Seth Wilmore and Mike Berlin?
Yeah, sure,
Do
thanks.
we have an update on that?
Absolutely. So Seth Wilmore, who was running the environmental permitting for the Barren Winds project. Mike Berlin, who was doing the development for a period of time on the Barren Winds project. And a few others from EverPower, resigned from EverPower, resigned from Energy. It was about, let's say, 4 or 5, no, it's more than that, maybe 5 weeks ago, which was unfortunate. So they left the company. They joined a division of Mitsubishi Hitachi that's based in Pittsburgh, and they are looking at microgrids behind the meter, what they call microgrids. It'd be like a small solar plant, small wind project to power something like a university. I think of them mainly also for military bases as well, for energy independence. So they have departed. We brought in myself, Steph, Leah. We just hired a new person with quite a bit of experience in the wind industry. He starts on December 3rd and do a bit of reallocation within the team. Good. All right. Yes, yeah, you're welcome.
Chip, can I ask a question? In regards to that Eagle thing, that's already been mitigated as 3.8 miles from a previous bird and bat study.
Yeah, so I just say, yeah, so we'll work with, again, Fish and Wildlife, the DEC.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we'll work with them very closely.
Okay. I had one other quick question. In the past, the town had asked you for the manufacturer's recommended setbacks, and you couldn't give it because you hadn't determined what brand you were going to use for the turbines. And now that you have determined it's one or the other, where do you stand with the manufacturer's recommended setbacks? Is the town going to be getting those, or?
Yeah, sure, we've said that before. If you guys are looking for some documentation from Gamesa and Nordex for recommended setbacks under normal operating conditions, you betcha. Yeah, sure, yeah, I'll do that.
And then
You okay if you're or interested?
Runaway mode.
And with OSHA
You're
too.
happy for those types of things as well. Yeah, but for recommended setbacks, the behind the scenes, and spoiler alert, there are none. We talked about this, there aren't. So if you're okay with an email from Gamesa and an email from Nordex, otherwise happy if they can create a document that just states that, addresses that, and we'll be happy to do it.
You would probably need an official document from both
Absolutely.
of them.
Yeah, sure thing.
For safety, health and safety.
Great.
Okay.
Good. Do you want to cover that? Sorry, just for another minute.
These are all the visual sims, so you can see that this one identifies.
Are they a little bit better than the actual turbines? Or are these the ones that were submitted on?
Yeah, I was going to ask, so we were going to ask you if you've seen these
Yeah.
before.
Are these the ones on the website?
I'm going to ask, I'll ask Steph.
That were in the application.
Yeah.
Those are, sorry if I can just interject, those are in addition to what were included in the application.
So these are brand new ones?
Those are new ones, yeah, so
Okay.
first of all, we just wanted to confirm that you had received them. Because those were generated, pretty recently, but we weren't sure if they had reached you, so wanted to confirm that. And then also too, if you compare that with the map that you had provided, some of the directions that we had talked about before are slightly different. So we're working with our consultant, you can see on that map is named EDR, on getting those additional photographs prepared.
Good. Once again, too, you provided notation of this and highlighted it within the list of issues. Yeah, and again, we're working on those as well. Good.
Yeah, it's easier as original.
All right.
Okay.
Can we give you a map with, ones that would actually show the turbines?
Yeah. In addition to the ones, you had some highlighted in the list, like the issue list, I believe. Like from this corner of the street, this direction would be helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's sit down.
But then there's a couple that would just be nice to see the overall project. I'm sure members of the community would like to see it.
Sure. I'd be happy to do that.